white matches, it's fine. If people show up late, it's fine.
So we're doing 9?
Yeah.
Howdy.
All right, there we go. Hey, I got sound. Welcome. It's so good to see your smiling faces. Let's rise up and sing. Stand together, which is what we're doing.
An oldie but a goodie.
Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. With drops in one ocean, roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live a dream of the highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gift with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine.
Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode in new heights in your mind.
I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yeah!
With the dream of the highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Let's stand together. Hey. Repeat after me. One dream. One dream. One voice. One voice. One heart. One heart. One word. One world. One dream. One dream. One voice. One voice. One heart. One heart. One word. One world. One dream. One dream. One voice. One voice. One heart. One word. Live the dream of the highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gift with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gift with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Oh, good morning.
All right. And while we're all standing up together, let's say hi. Say hi to somebody you know. Say hello to someone you don't know. Welcome somebody new. Wave at those cameras because they're watching too. All right. And when you're done, you're welcome to have a seat and be comfy. We're going to sing another song, We Come Together. Call and response. Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Together.
We come 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 together in the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come
we're going to bring it down a little bit and sing The Eyes of God.
With the eyes of God, let me love. With the heart of God, let me breathe. With the breath of God, let me live in the love of God. Let me see with the eyes of God. Let me love with the heart of God. Let me breathe with the breath of God. Let me live in the love of God.
Let's do that one more time.
Let me see with the eyes of God. Let me love with the heart of God. Let me breathe with the breath of God. Let me live in the love of God.
Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Unity of Fort Worth. We are so glad that you could join us either in person or online. We have a wonderful service prepared for you today, so we hope you enjoy it. So relax and take a deep breath, and we're going to settle in for a few announcements. We want to thank FCC for allowing us to have this beautiful sanctuary. And on that note, coming up on Saturday, October 19th, our host community, FCC, has invited Unity Fort Worth to participate in their fall workday to spruce up the property for the fall season. The workday starts at 9 a.m. and will finish up around noon with a provided pizza lunch and the opportunity to get to know those who share their building with us. We hope you'll come out and be a part of this wonderful shared experience. We're having a town hall meeting next Sunday, October 20th, after service starting at 2:15 p.m. Join us in person in the sanctuary or on Zoom in our virtual fellowship hall to hear updates about our community. Our youth and family ministry Sunday morning experience returns on Sunday, October 27th. We are so excited to provide this opportunity for children to grow spiritually and build relationships within our community, and we look forward to welcoming your family soon. This program is open to children currently in kindergarten through 12th grade. If you haven't registered your family before or need to update any of your information, please fill out our registration form using the link or QR code or visit the welcome table after service for help. We highly recommend registering in advance because it makes check-in so much easier for you. And the same day, Sunday, October 27th, is the Sunday before Halloween. So it's time to bust out your favorite costume and get in the spirit. By dressing up, you'll get to express your creative inner child as well as be a part of creating a welcoming and playful environment for the kids that are coming to our YFM program. We will look forward to sharing this fun with you. October is New Member Month at Unity Fort Worth. All month long, we will be focusing on bringing new members into our community. To tell us a bit more, we have Bill Shaw, our board president.
Thank you. I'd like to encourage, I know many of you are members already, but I would like to, if you are not, I'd like to encourage you to become a member of Unity Fort Worth. And, you know, when I reflected back on Wani and I becoming members, we moved here in November 2015. We became members in February 2016. And why did we do that? We joined Unity Fort Worth because, number one, on the spiritual dimension, there was real alignment between our beliefs and unity, our beliefs towards spirituality and Christianity. And with Unity Fort Worth, we just lined up. Secondly, the importance of community. I know you all are part of a community already, but it strengthens the bonds being part of the community. And thirdly, the other factor is we wanted to participate in the governance of Unity Fort Worth, as reflected in the annual meeting and voting and those kinds of things. So I'd encourage you to consider becoming a member if you're not already, to make that relatively easy. We have an online course which you can take. You can sit down and just do that on your own. Take the online course, and on November, I have to look at my note here, November 3rd, Sunday, November 3rd, after the service, we're going to run the course here in the sanctuary for those who want to do it in person. So I would encourage you, as I said, encourage you to become a member of Unity Fort Worth. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Now, Stella Fair, our voting ambassador, has some information to share about the upcoming elections. I don't see Stella in the auto. So she may be running a little bit late, but she will be in the sanctuary soon. That's all for the announcements today. Let's enjoy some more music brought to us by our wonderful music team.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone. Always I'm surprised how well you cut my feelings to the bone. Don't want to leave you really, I've invested too much time to give you up that easy to the doubts that complicate your mind. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. Maybe it's a sign of weakness when I don't know what to say. Maybe I just wouldn't know what to do with my strength anyway. Have we become a habit? Do we distort the facts? Now there's no looking forward. Now there's no turning back when you say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. Close your eyes and try to sleep now. Close your eyes and try to dream. Clear your mind and do your best to try to wash the palate clean. can't begin to know it, how much we really care. I hear your voice inside me, I see your face everywhere. Still you say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we've both fallen under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong. We belong together. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we've both fallen under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong. We belong together. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder.
Today's word is belong. The affirmation is, I belong. Let's say this together. I belong. As the particle is to the wave, so is my humanity to my divinity. Today I celebrate oneness, divinity. I also rejoice in my humanity, knowing every person is unique and distinct. No matter what my station in life, my personal history, or my circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. A true sense of belonging is one of the most satisfying feelings. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. I extend this understanding to everyone. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see the divinity in everyone. I honor their unique gifts just as I would want them to honor mine. In our humanity, we belong together. In divinity, there is only oneness. Today's scripture verse is from John chapter 17, verses 20 and 21. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. The affirmation again, I belong. Together, I belong.
And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker for today, Reverend Ahriana Platten. Ahriana is an evolutionary force in spiritual transformation. She bridges ancient wisdom with contemporary teachings, empowering people to use sacred ceremony to address life's challenges. As a reverend mystic and visionary, Ahriana is a compass for spiritual leaders aiming to reshape the world. Her influence resonates across a global community in 50-plus countries. She is an ordained unity minister, a formidable high priestess in 2 esoteric traditions, and a mentor for spiritual entrepreneurs. A former ambassador for the Parliament of the World's Religions, Ahriana is the best-selling author of Rites and Rituals, Harnessing the Power of Sacred Ceremony, and is a featured wisdom keeper in the world-recognized movie, Time of the Sixth Sun. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Ahriana Platten.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Unity of Fort Worth. It is really quite a pleasure to be with you this morning. It's been a while. I think I was with you last September, so almost a year, or a little bit more than a year since I got to see you all, and you have found a new home. And I am in a new home myself. I am in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I've been down here leading a women's retreat, and I'm staying through the end of the month. This is the beginning of a 6-month tour for my husband and I. We are going to be here for a month, off to Italy for a month, down to Uganda to do some work there and visit a son we have in Uganda, and then we will be moving on to Bali for a couple of months before we come back to Colorado. So it's exciting to spend, first of all, exciting to find out I actually can do this from another country. Really nice to see you from here to there. And aren't we blessed by the kind of magic this is by itself? I am staying in Mexico for a month because I wanted to be here through Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead, that falls on November 2nd here, because this time of year is always incredibly important to me. This is the time of year that we honor and recognize and connect with our ancestors. So I was listening to the word this morning, the word belong, and just being moved a little bit by all of that. And I'd like us to just take a minute and pray ourselves into that belonging with our ancestors, with those who came before and those who will come after. So if you would close your eyes with me for just a minute, and let us just breathe and find ourselves in our bodies. Really notice that you're in your body. Feel your feet on the ground beneath you. Feel your back against the chair, your shoulders. Notice the way your head and neck move, how you set yourself in your chair for comfort. And let your full divine presence come forth. Remembering that we are interconnected in oneness, not just with all of those that are in our immediate family, or with all of those that are in the room, or in the city, or in the planet even, but we are interconnected with everyone who has ever been and everyone who has whoever will come. And that's a big concept to grab, and yet Spirit opens us in this moment to all of that, to the knowing that oneness is not limited by time or place, but that oneness is true in all time, in all place, in all eternity. So we open ourselves to the influence of those ancestors who have our highest good in mind. And we open ourselves to be the influence with the highest good in mind of those who will come after us, that we might truly bring forth what is divine and holy into being. For our opportunity to be together, for our opportunity to know the great breadth of our influence, for our opportunity to be the hands, heart, and motion of the holy in all times, in all dimensions. We say thank you. And so it is. It's that, isn't it? My mother used to say, we are the living prayers of our ancestors. And I was thinking about that in preparation for today. What does it mean to be the living prayers of the people who came before us? So many countries, so many cultures celebrate and venerate ancestors on a daily basis. And we in Western society really don't have an ancestor day. We have Halloween. We have a time that we bring out our skeletons and our pumpkins, and we try and scare each other. But the sacredness of where this holiday came from is often lost on us. We simply don't recognize it as a time of ancestors. So I want to share with you a little bit about that this morning. I want to talk to you a little bit about your ancestors, about you as an ancestor, and about the science behind how we bring the prayers of our ancestors into being and how we seed the prayers of the future, how our descendants will bring into life some of the things we're praying for now. So all of us have ancestors. Many of us come from European culture, and we immigrated to the United States. Those of us that did may only know our ancestors back a short while, because a lot was forgotten from one country to the other. I can go back and remember the names of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother, but I'm hard-pressed to bring anything more than that forward because I don't have the family lines. But in 2018, I took my mom back to Italy. My family, my mother's side of the family is from Italy, and I took my mom back to Italy to a little bitty village called Vinciaturo that has about 3,000 people, and it's where my people come from. And I arrived there and felt something that I couldn't define, some sense of homecoming. To my knowledge, I am the first to go back to Vinciaturo since my great-grandmother moved to the United States, and that was in the late 1800s. And when I went back, I was able to go to the church there. My family grew up Catholic, or a long time Catholic, all the way back. And so I was able to go to the Catholic church, and the priest there pulled out a giant book and opened it up and flipped through many pages until he came to the date and the name of my great-grandfather when he was baptized in the church. And then he flipped a few more pages to the names and the date that my great-grandparents were married in that church before they came to the United States. And there was something incredibly moving about that, about recognizing that there is a place in the world where my history is written down, where I have a connection to people whose names I don't even know anymore, to whose names I haven't even heard. And it's like that for a lot of us that were immigrants, because when people moved, they moved because either they saw great opportunity in America, or things were really terrible where they were and they needed to leave, or a combination of both. So they made a move to the United States at a time when you couldn't jump on a plane and go back home, when it took many of them months to travel across the ocean to even get to where we are now. And when they came, in their hearts, a lot of them knew they would never see the people that they loved again, that they would need to move forward now in a new way. So I often think about how independent we are as a culture in the United States and wonder how much of that is influenced because our ancestors had to become independent just to survive. They had to be able to move away from everything they knew, all the things that were familiar to them, their language, their home, the foods they liked, all the friends that they grew up with, everything, to come to a new place. So we're affected by all of that. Who we are is affected by all of that. In the Native American traditions, you've probably heard people talk about what happens for 7 generations, that we have to make our decisions considering 7 generations. And some tribes don't look at that as just 7 generations forward. They actually place us between our ancestors and our descendants. So we're talking about 3 generations behind us, all the way back to our great-great-grandparents, ourselves in the center, and 3 generations forward, all the way to our great-great-grandchildren that our lives should be lived in a way that recognizes we have connection through those 7 generations. So when we think about our ancestors and moving back, we are influenced by our parents, by our great-grandparents, and by our great-great-grandparents, and the decisions that they made and the way that they lived. And that's an interesting thing to think about, isn't it? Because so many of our families immigrated during that time, and we've lost a lot. But epigenetically, we carry the signature of our family. So what is epigenetics? Epigenetics is a science that began in the 1940s, but really didn't become well known until the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And now it is a very active science. And putting it in the most simple layman terms, epigenetics works like this. It says, if there is an instruction book in the genes of your body for how you will live, then epigenetic signatures are the Post-it notes that your grandparents put on various pages. So one of those Post-it notes might be, watch out for bears. I got chased by one. Don't get anywhere near them. So you might have an unreasonable fear of bears and never have had any contact with bears at all. That could be an epigenetic Post-it note from someone who came before you. These Post-it notes, these little stickies on the instructions on the gene system of our life are not visible to us, they impact us. We can't go in, obviously, inside and say, please show me all of those so I can see if I agree with them or not. We discover them when they come up on a page. When we jump about a snake or a spider and we have no reason to have fear, we're afraid because of something that happened to someone else. When we interact with people of different cultures in a certain way, because the epigenetic signature said there was war with these people, watch out, be afraid, or be cautious, at the very least be cautious. We have epigenetic signatures around how our bodies will respond to various foods and how we might interact in our spiritual way with one another. There are so many things that are hidden in our gene code, in our body, that came from the people who came before us. And they were praying. They were praying just like we pray. We pray for the world to be harmonious, for there to be peace, for an increase in compassion, for us to understand oneness, for things that are problems to resolve. We have all of those prayers going. We are, in the same way our ancestors did, praying for those who come after us. We don't say when we pray, okay, this prayer is for my lifetime. I am praying for my lifetime that this thing happens when I can see it, and I don't really care what happens after that. When we put a prayer out there, it is a moving, living force, a moving, living manifestation for the future. And when our ancestors prayed, they prayed us into the future we're in now. They prayed and they took action, as our principles say. We have to pray, we have to think differently, and we have to take action. They took action. They moved to a new place. They changed their whole life. They did something remarkable so that we could be in a new place. And they are part of the oneness that we are in right now, which is a really big, hard concept to grasp. Because when we think of oneness, we think in a linear way. I'm connected to everything I can see. I'm connected to all the people, the plants, the trees, the rocks, the grocery store, the everything. I'm connected to everything. We're one. But in the divine field, which is eternal, there is no reference to time. We don't say to ourselves, we don't learn from spirit. We're connected to everything that exists at the same time we do. We are connected to all that is, all that has ever been, all that will ever be. Which means that how we live is is influenced by our ancestors and also can be healed for our ancestors. And what we do is already influencing those that will come from us, that will come after us. So how we live as the prayers of our ancestors, recognizing our ancestors as important in our lives, really matters. For us to genuinely take a moment and really recognize that we are connected for a long, long span of time to the influences, lives, and prayers of the people from whom we came. So this is the time of ancestors. You'll hear some people say this is the time that the veils are thin. And to the best of my understanding, what that means in ancient cultures is that at this time of year, everything on our hemisphere, everything that has been alive from spring through fall is now dying, and the energy of that life is moving to a new place. So there are veils, there are places between the world of the living and the not living that all that energy moves to. The veils are thin, going in a particular direction. Right now we're moving in the direction of death and endings. And so in that way, the energy of those who are behind us can more easily reach out to us. Guidance is available. We can hear and be influenced by those who came before us. In the spring, we have the opposite. We have messages that come to us miraculously from those souls who will come later. Ways that life is fed back. So 7 generations of connections. These epigenetic signatures that we have, these post-it notes, are post-it notes because science says we can remove them. We can take them out. So not everything that our ancestors did was perfect. And not everything they left us with, especially when it comes to fears and angers and apprehensions, actually deserves to have a place in our life going forward. So we have the opportunity to look at the things that we're afraid of, the people we're afraid of, the circumstances we avoid, and to ask ourselves, is that really necessary? Is this thing I'm afraid of really scary? I told you I come from Colorado. We have people in Colorado Springs, which is at the base of Pikes Peak, who have never been up into the mountains because they're afraid of the wildlife up there. They've never been there. Never driven up the mountain, which is a 20-minute drive, because mountain lions, bears, things might get them. In all of my time, I've lived in Colorado for 23 years. I've seen 1 bear and no mountain lions. And I have traveled through the woods up there. But the fear that is with us is not necessary, and yet it's there and it's real. Fear of each other, fear of incidents, fear of lack, fear of poverty, fear of famine, fear of war, fear of various cultures. So many things that we find ourselves afraid of, that if we stopped and asked ourselves, do I have a real reason for being afraid? We might find, no, nothing ever happened in my lifetime that really made me feel this fear. So why talk about all of this? First of all, because there is more to this season than scaring one another and, spooky masks and costumes, as much fun as they are. This is a time for us to really recognize and remember who came before us and why they made the choices they made and what they were praying for. They were praying for a better opportunity. They were praying for a harmonious life. They were praying that they could live in peace. And we came forth from those prayers. And how are we doing at that? Are we still praying for peace? Are we still working on how we understand what is enough? And prosperity has an enoughness, doesn't it? We can get caught up in there never being enough, or we can stop and recognize we might just be in the place of enough. We are still praying today. And those that come after us are influenced. So epigenetically, most of us have already had our children, and you might be thinking, well, there's nothing I can do about the signatures that I passed down because I've already had my children. But that is not the case. Epigenetically, we can influence our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren who may already be here by providing a sense of safety, by providing a sense of enough, by explaining to them there is enough, by helping overcome addictions and illnesses in our family. When we take care of those things, the epigenetic post-it notes get removed. And the people who come after us are safe and clear of those signatures. So we don't think about any of this stuff. We just think about living our lives in a good way, being nice to one another, loving one another, living in a spiritually interconnected way, but it's deeper. And that's what I want to offer you to consider today. Who you are and what you do is influencing 7 generations, because you are still connected to your ancestors. If you heal an addiction, you heal a trauma, you heal it all the way back, and you heal it from those who never have to carry it. The great work you do on your soul, on your eternity, connects backward and forward. And as big an idea as that is, it reminds us of our true divinity, that we are the holy expressing, and nothing is beyond what is possible in the mind and heart and being of the holy. So some of us have ancestors we're not proud of, people who passed that maybe weren't the great parents we wanted them to be, or the great grandparents or great great grandparents. And yet, when we heal all the way back through our family line. So in this time of ancestors, I invite you to think, who is it that can benefit from your healing? How is it that you can pass on what is good and whole-making and healthy to those who come after you? How is it that we live as the prayers that we make? That we live and become what our ancestors wanted and what we want for those who come after us. So I'm going to invite you to take a moment of meditation with me. To find yourself comfortably in your seat. To put both feet on the floor. To open your hands and allow movement to happen in the interconnectedness we are, between all times and all places. I want you to use your imagination, which is really just a channel for God, to allow yourself to feel the hands of your ancestors on your shoulders. To feel that. You might sense it in your physical body. You might see it in your mind's eye. You might simply know that your ancestors walk with you every day. Those you love are still with you. Feel the hands on your shoulders that greet you with love, that have prayed for you, that continue to pray for you. And as you notice the first set of hands, feel the energetic connection to the hands on the shoulders of whoever is behind you, and behind them, and behind them, because behind us is a full line of many generations, and you are one in that line. And feel how the generations behind you are made strong by the beating of your heart, by the breath that you breathe, by your being in this present moment. Feel how they are made whole by your heart and your mind and your deep connection. Feel that they are blessed by you, by who you are, by the good that you do, by what you have learned. We haven't all done good. Sometimes we're healing ourselves, and that's the best we can do right now. But our ancestors, they know. They've moved beyond the veil. They see all that you are, all the beauty, all the work, all the effort, all the healing, all the wholeness, all the gifts. And they stand with you every moment, holding you as you hold them. So have a moment of gratitude for the ancestors, knowing that you belong to this line. Find yourself in your body, connected, and simply allow yourself to move your focus forward, placing your focus on the hearts of those who come after you, whether they're your children or nieces and nephews or young people you know. Feel your heart connected to those who are the next generation and the generation after that. And our third generation, our great-great-grandchildren, who we might never see, and yet who carry and will carry all the gifts that we send. So put a few Post-it notes in place yourself. Post-it notes about love and the power of love. Post-it notes that remind them that they are compassionately held by you. The Post-it notes that say you're stronger than you know you are. You're capable of something so much more. And the messages that say there is a future. There is a future of love. There is innovation and there are answers. Keep looking, you'll find them. Feel yourself feed those messages forward in time and space to those that come after you. And know that all your prayers will be answered through them, as you are the answer to your ancestors' prayers. Take a moment in the quiet to feel the deep connection through all time and all space. You are the oneness of all time, all space, all being. And you belong in the heart and the mind and the existence of the holy. And so it is.
Between me and my God,
What a blessing to have Ahriana with us today. Please join me in thanking her for being with us and sharing her message. Many of you already contribute regularly to our community, and we are so grateful for your continued support of our mission. If you would like to contribute right now, you can leave your tithe or love offering in the basket coming around, or click the link to contribute online. If you would like to be a sustaining member, we would love for you to consider setting up a recurrent giving to support our community. In whatever way you choose to share your gifts, we are so grateful as we bless our love offerings. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
I know there's something in the wake of your smile. I get a notion from the look in your eyes, yeah. You've built a love, but that love falls apart. Your little piece of heaven turns to dark. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before it tells you goodbye. Sometimes you wonder if this fight is worthwhile. The precious moments are all lost in the tide, yeah. They're swept away. Nothing is what it seems. The feeling of belonging to your dreams. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye. And there are voices that want to be heard. So much to mention, but you can't find the words. The sense of magic, the beauty that's been when love was wilder than the wind. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your heart before. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do.
It's been such a gift having you with us today. Join us for fellowship after service. A few announcement reminders. Pitch in at the Community Work Day here Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Be sure to register your family for our Youth and Family Ministry. Visit the welcome table after service for help. And everyone, plan to wear your costumes to Sunday service on October 27th. Until then, stay safe, be well, and have a wonderful week. Please rise to sing the peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. Presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and I am.